Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm here with day 11 of the best of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And today's sketch is by Allison Davis, and that is scrapbookgeneration.com. They have lots and lots of amazing sketches, and it's got lots of embellishments, some strips, a little embellishment cluster at the top, and 2 pictures. And I actually have 4 pictures that are 3x4. And so I want to use this Jen Hadfield Reaching Out paper. And there's lots of reasons for that. And since I don't have a Cricut working right now, I'm using the circle punch from Creative Memories to make circles instead of the stars or the hearts that I originally wanted, because it's going to collaborate with this layout right here. And it will not be a facing page because I'm actually making a double page, but it goes along with the layout I did yesterday for day 10. So I'm going to bring in some of these same enamel dots from Paper Studios because I use those on that layout as well. And some of the same papers and colors. So I have the Jen Hadfield Reaching Out project pad. I have a few loose papers, and then this pack right here is my scraps. And I really want to use these branding strips as my little strips here because I love using scraps. It makes me so happy. So I have this project pad, I have the embellishments, I have my circles, my 4 pictures, and this awesome layout. So let's see how this goes. So I have decided that I'm going to make a double layout and stretch the sketch because I have 4 pictures and I really wanted to stick with the way that this layout or the sketch has the 2. So I am making minor alterations. Instead of using stars, I'm using circles, and my stripes are not going to go as high up or take up as much space on the layout. But the concept is definitely there. The picture placement is pretty close. And so the left will look like the sketch. The right will look like a mirror image of the sketch. In general, I mean, they're not obviously identical. And I do move the papers. I flip-flop them. So the dark one will be on the right and the lighter rainbows will be on the left. The dark one came from the project pad, and then the lighter colored one is from just a loosey-goosey page. So I'm using this piece paper to mat 2 of the pictures, and then I use some scraps to mat the other ones. And then this branding strip had little word phrases on it that were super fitting for what I wanted to use. So I went ahead and cut those out, again, using up some scraps. Because there are, looks like there's about 7 little strips on here that look like they're meant to be journaling or stickers or word phrases or something like that. So I just take my papers, and here I have flipped them. I put some double-sided tape approximately the length of what I want to do, and that way I can just put that down and I don't have to but I don't have to glue or put tape on every single little strip I use. So these strips, I'm going to measure them right now because I don't have any clue. I kind of eyeballed them. But they are about 6 inches. So a lot of these are branding strips from the project pad, and so they have like that hole in the middle. So I knew that they weren't going to be much more than, or they weren't going to be more than 6 inches, because I wanted to use whatever I put on the right side, I want on the left side and vice versa for the most part. Now there are a few that I don't use on the other side because one of the strips I use is a dark blue, and that's not going to work for me on that dark colored paper. So I just start lining them up, and if they are a light color, like there's a handful of these that are a lighter color, I just take my Vintage Photo Distress ink by Tim Holtz, and I ink all the way around so they stand out and don't disappear. So you can see the definition between every one of those little strips right there. And that better together is the one I'm talking about, would not stand out on the other side. So I used both of them on the right side, and so that way on the left side, so since I wasn't gonna be able to see that on the right dark layout. And I'll use something different over there. So I'm just finishing up the left side with this little strip. And this piece that I'm using right here literally came off of a layout I did. Oh, yesterday's layout. It's the paper that I trimmed up to matte. So it came off the layout that I used that's going along with this. And then those little peachy pink hearts on the bottom, that is the paper that I used to make the heart. So on the layout I shared with you in the beginning. So it all connects because this story all goes together. So these 2 pages will go before the one that I did on day 10, which had the circles and the big heart, because that was, if you watched yesterday's video, that was a picture of my daughter and her dad, or my husband, and she had asked him to adopt her. And he's been the only father that she's known pretty much her entire life, but it was never official. So to ask him, she decided last minute, she's thought about it for a long time and asked me like right after Christmas if we could do something for his birthday. And I said that was fine. Well, his birthday is in July, you all. And last minute, she asked me on Saturday night if I would help her do it while we were at the beach. And so last minute, we go out on this adventure, and she's made these signs on poster board, and she wants to make a book for him. So we decided we'd do this photo shoot throughout Holden Beach and Charlotte, where we were staying, and print the pictures, make a little mini scrapbook, and the little quotes and things on the little cards she's holding in her hand end up saying, asking him if he would be her dad. So I wanted to make sure to document these pictures. He has, like I said, the book with the pictures in it originally, but I made copies so that I would have it. And so there's some sites from where we were in the pictures and everything. So it just was super, super special. So I wanted to make sure that I documented these. And when I saw this layout, I thought, this is perfect. I can do a double layout and do 2 of them on one page and 2 on the other. And I do love the way it turned out. So while I was rambling, I finished the right side to make sure that I had the strips. And they are not exactly the same height because some of them are thinner than the ones on the left. I do not care at all. I love the way this ended up. And so that's really all that matters. So I've taken a strip of that double-sided tape again, put it up and down the left side on the left and the right side on the right. And the circles that I punched out with my Creative Memories circle punch, I just am scattering around, trying not to put any of the same pattern or the same color scheme on top of each other. Some of them are kind of close, but not like right on top of each other. And so I do that on both sides, and I kind of evenly match like a big one in the middle, then the next size up above it. And I kind of match that from side to side, but not necessarily the patterns, because some of the patterns stand out better on the dark side and some patterns stand out better on the light side. So I get all of those down, and I use some Nuvo Deluxe to get some of them on there. And then there's a cluster in the top on the sketch. There's a cluster in the top right. And so I decided I was going to put in the top right on the left one and the top left on the right one. And I decided I would cut these circles in half and make it look like they were connected. And I really, really love the way that turned out, because all the ones that I use stand out pretty good, and the one that doesn't, I ink. So I really do think that this was this worked out really well. Like, I love how it connects, and it'll be in a book, in a binded book. So they really aren't going to be right next to each other like they would be if not a binded, but a binder, like a 3-ring binder. So it won't be the same as if they were in, like a bound book, but I'm okay with that. The concept is still there, and I don't mind when the circles fall off the page because it just kind of continues the layout. So I pretty much match the circles that I use there, but one of them is actually the same paper that I'm putting that on. It's a floral from that same rainbow white background paper. So I just inked that one so it's going to stand out a little bit. And right here in this video, it's not very obvious, but I can see it better in person. And then I'm going to get my pictures down. And I put them pretty much where they have them placed. But like I said, the strips on her sketch go up a little higher and come down a little lower. But I just wanted to make sure at least one of them was underneath the picture, so it kind of was like a little shelf for them to sit on. And so I get that put down there, and I make sure that they were both pretty much the same on the right and the left. And this is an order of how they are in the book. So then I'm going to take those word phrases that I had cut off that branding strip, and I ink one of them because it kind of disappears into the page, but the other ones are fine. And they say, remember forever, better together, get together, and joy in your company, and time for hugs. And all of those are super fitting. And then to finish off some of more word phrases, I get my Tim Holtz small talk out. And on the right side, I pull one that says, great things take time, because she's 20, so it's obviously been a long time for them to get to this point. And then the other one says, never give up. And the two of them have had a rocky relationship because, you know, she was a teenage girl and he was her dad. So that pretty much says everything you need to know. And then on the other side, the word phrases I decided to use were the white ones as well, but I matted them on a scrap of that blue rainbow kind of paper, and I just pulled 3 phrases. One says take risks, because it was a risk for her to ask because she didn't know what he'd say. Creativity takes courage, because she was being very creative with the way that she decided to ask. And then be you bravely. So I really do love the word phrases. And now I am adding the enamel dots and a few enamel hearts, and they are all from Paper Studio. I do pull a couple of gemstones out, and those are from Park Lane. And I think that's the only little embellishments like that. And then I pull out the Lucky Ones by Thickers. And because I've used those enamel dots that are gold glittery, I decided I'd use this gold glittery title phrases. And the Lucky Ones would have worked. And today, yay, would have worked as well, because it was the same day we took these pictures. I went back to our beach house and made a mini scrapbook in a matter of like 30 minutes so that she could give it to him that evening for our secret $10, which is a whole nother thing. So the other thing I did was pull these 2 little glittery hearts off, and one of them is up in, oh, I haven't done it yet. So, I guess I'm still putting the title down. Sorry. Life is Beautiful is what I went with. Gosh, my ADD is in rare form today. So these 2 glitter hearts that are solid hearts, I put one in the cluster up at the top left and one in the cluster next to it over there in the top right. And then there's 2 that are open hearts, and I go ahead and put one of those up on the far right side in the middle of the heart, the circle clusters, and then one pretty much in the same place over there on the left. And I just thought that that would bring that gold to a full triangle effect, where it's in the top cluster, the title word, and then over there in the circles. So then I think I'm done. I think I'm going to show you the layout or the sketch. I really, really, really do love the way that this turned out. I am so happy with it. I forgot to get anything out of the project pad, so I am going to pull from, look in there and see if there's anything that I can add, which will be shown on Instagram tomorrow, or today. When this is posted, it'll be on Instagram. The pictures will have the final look if I pull anything from the project pad, but I really do love the way it turned out. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. I cut it down as quickly and as fast as I could so you all weren't here for a long time, because it was like an hour and a half or so to get all of this done, but I did a lot of fussy cutting and inking. So, you know, it's all right. It was an important layout, and I wanted to take the time to do it. So here is the second layout. Like I said, pretty much the exact same as the other one, just flipped. So I would love for you all to click on the thumbs up and the like button. If you have any comments, I would love to hear those as well. In the description box, there is a hashtag, and that is pretty much how you will follow along with all the awesome creatives who are creating this month. And I'll be back for day 12 tomorrow for the next 30 days of sketches. So have a great day and happy scrapping.